Hello, classes. I wanted to record a video that was just a tutorial of using free math app. Um, this is the website that I am requesting you do all of your work in so that I can grade it. You're going to do your work on this website and submit it to me so I can grade it. And I'm getting a lot of questions about this, and a lot of these questions I feel like I've answered before in videos, but because they were in the middle of videos and not like there wasn't just one video dedicated to a tutorial of free math app so much. Thought I'd make a video that's just start to finish free math app. Um, so some of this might be redundant for some of you who've watched all my videos, but hopefully this will be helpful for those who didn't watch those videos and they just need a tutorial of free math app. So to go here, you go to freemathapp.org. It brings up this website. There's two sections, student and teacher. You're going to only do the student section. There's a couple things here under students. There's create, there's choose file, and then there's recovered assignments. Now, recovered assignments, I've been told that may not work. I've been told by the developers that the recovered assignments may not work on student Chromebooks in general. So they don't know about our school in particular. I don't know about our school in particular, but you might not see this recovered assignments list. This list is a bunch of documents that I've recently worked on, and they just show up here, and I can recover them. But you might not be seeing that. But that doesn't. This is nice, but it's not necessary to use the program. When you're starting an assignment for the first time, you're going to want to click on this create button. Okay. So in here, I'm just going to make a problem up, and one of the things that I was emphasizing in one of my previous videos is when you do a problem, when you put a problem number in here, just put the problem number. Don't put point. Don't put paren. Just put the problem number. And the reason is the problem numbers will group together. I'm actually going to show you that. So up here, I'm going to make up a student name. So my son is learning, and I'm going to call this Algebra 2 assignment. Okay. So actually, starting up here with file name, I've been requesting that you put your name first, and then you put whatever the assignment is. Always put your name and put it first, because that makes it easier for me to see whose it is. And moreover, there's a bigger issue with file names being the same name, where there's conflicts. Okay, so in here, if you click, okay, so put your file name first, put your problem number, okay, put your name at the beginning of the file name. In here is where you're going to be able to enter your problem, showing all your work, and in this box that shows up, you have all these different options for math symbols that other word processors don't have. So I'm going to do a very simple problem. I'm going to do x, let's say 4x plus 7 is equal to 11. I'm going to solve this. Okay. You can look around in here to see for different classes, obviously you're going to need different symbols in here. But if you are looking for a symbol and you can't find it, ask me, because it's better to use the symbols they use in here than to copy and paste from another website, which some people have been doing, and it might cause some loading issues on my end. But if I'm going to solve this problem right here that I just put up here, you can type it out using the keyboard. All this stuff uses keyboards, and then I can hit enter, and it will repeat this line. And so if I want to subtract 7 from both sides, which is what you do to solve this, I'm going to do minus 7. Okay? Or I could even do this, and some people did this, and this is fine. They just deleted everything but the minus 7s below each of the sides. That works great too. And then, so these two 7s go away, and we're left with 4. Over here we have 11 minus 4. We're left with 4. So I'm just repeating what I wrote. I'm going to center it a little. You don't have to do that, but it's nice. Okay? I'm going to hit enter. So the next step would be to divide both sides by 4. So I want to divide this side by 4. I'm going to come here, put the cursor right between the x and the equals. I'm going to do divide by 4. See how that put a line in for a fraction, something you can't do in other processors? Go behind this 4 and put a divide by 4. Okay, so then what I have on this side is those force cancel out. I'm going to replace that whole thing with x. I'm going to replace this whole thing with 1, and then I'm going to just center it a little bit better. Okay? So I'm going to add problem 10. And here, let me just do some square root here. Square root, there are short codes. You can type out square root, and it'll make a square root. So you don't have to reach over to the mouse. But here's a square root, okay? This right here is not a square root. This is an nth root, which would be like a cubed root, what you'd use for a cubed root. But a lot of people who meant to put something like 4 times square root of 2, let's say, some people were putting 4th root of 2, which is a different thing. Those are 2 different things, okay? So that's how you can do square root. Logarithms, here's the log, okay, button, and make sure you go down when you go to do the base. If I'm doing log of base 2 of 16, it will look like that, okay? Make sure you go down to the subscript for the base. Statistics, I had the developers add the given symbol, so we can now do a given, use this symbol here, which is shortcut vert, /vert b, and before we were using, I had to use absolute value to get that, but that now works. So that's a lot of and there's all sorts of letters in here, pre-calc. You can type out pi, and to get pi, just pi goes to pi. You can type out alpha to get alpha, okay? The other thing with statistics, we will use union, so A union B, okay? Or A intersect B. Okay, those logic buttons are here and here. You can click those rather than typing it up. What else do we want? Angle for geometry. The angle button and pre-calc actually is right here. It's /angle if you don't want to press the button. Angle of A. Okay. Congruent is right here under geometry. Congruent. If 2 angles are congruent. What was it? Let's see here. Just cong. Okay, there we go. And then angle B. All right. So, but the point is, you want to type up all this stuff and all your work. So it would look like this using the symbols down here to do the math part of it. The thing about this program that is very useful is its ability to do fractions. So in pre-calc, we have a lot of fractions within fractions. So we have sine of x over, let's say, cosine of x. I'm just making this stuff up. And then if I want to put that over another fraction, I can do that. And this is actually happening a lot in pre-calc. So tan plus, let's say tan plus cotangent, and this isn't a real problem. And then if I would want to put this entire denominator in another fraction, you may have to group with parentheses. It's very important to realize that if I, see now I can do that. So if I tried to do that without the parentheses, it might just put the second thing because of order of operations. This plus is separating it. So if I want this entire thing in another fraction, let's say this whole thing here is over sine, I need to put it in parens and then put it over sine, like that. Okay, so we can have fractions within fractions, and this kind of thing isn't possible in an editor, in a like word processor, without like Google Docs. It is possible in Word, but Word is not something that you guys can have access to right now. I mean, maybe you do, but not everybody would. So then, exponents. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. To do an exponent, there's a button down here under Basic, right here. To do an exponent, you have to delete the B, delete the A, okay? And there it is. But you could also do 8, and then Shift 6 will do an exponent, okay? All right, so there's some overview of that. I know I went through that before in another video. There's symbols common symbols. But what I want to do here is show you what you need to do. So now come up here and you click save, and it will download a file. Okay. So in my downloads folder, I now have this file. I know this looks different for you because you're not on Windows. So let's say I get this assignment, and I'm gonna get this assignment again from my wife. Got it from Owen, my son. I'm gonna get it from my wife, and let's say that she made a mistake here. She wouldn't make this mistake. Let me take that back. So I got it from Owen. I'm gonna get it from my wife also. Then I'm gonna get it from myself. Yes, I'm gonna do it myself. The same assignment. Okay. And then I'm going to make a mistake. And I'm going to accidentally subtract 4. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking incorrectly. I don't know how to do things here. And then I'm going to say, oh, I have 7. Okay, I have 7 for some reason. I'm getting numbers confused, essentially. And I have 7 over here. Okay, oh, but then Mr. Smoker, I actually got the same answer, right? I just mix those up, I get the same answer. Well, that's actually incorrect. Work, and I'd like to see your work. So I have these 3 files. Now, the way it works in Google Classroom is I'm going to get these from you. You don't have to really worry about what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to get those from you. I'm going to get those, and I'm going to load them on my end. I'm going to show you what it looks like on my end. Okay, so I'm going to get this file. You don't have to worry about how I loaded it. So, important to note, here's a couple things that's important. That on my end, see how it's grouping all 3 problem 7s together? Well, if somebody put 7.1 in, it's gonna treat that like a different problem. So I won't grade it because it won't be with the problem 7s. Okay. So here I have my possible points. I'm gonna make this out of 1. I'm gonna apply that. So now these are all out of 1. Laura did a good job. I'm going to give her full credit. Owen did a good job, but Roland did not do a good job. He made a mistake. So I can come in here and highlight the errors and say subtracted by wrong amount. Give you a note. Go back up to the top, and then I can go to problem 10. I'm going to make this out of 1 point also. This wasn't really a problem. This was just work. Obviously, it's going to look very similar because I copied and pasted the file. Full point, full point, full point. I can look at your grades here. I can check, and there are issues because there are documents exactly the same. That would be a red flag for me. And I will be talking to you then about that. Why you 2 people in this class have the exact same copied and pasted document. And so then I'm done with this, and I'm going to rename this to Algebra 2, and I'm going to save that file, and then I'm going to take that file, and I'm going to take these, and I'm going to extract them, and then I'm going to upload them to Google Classroom, okay? So after you were done, you uploaded this to Google Classroom, the file you downloaded, and then you sent it to me. You submitted it to me. Okay, then I downloaded it when I have a bunch, and I'm grading it. Now I'm going to take it, and after I'm done grading, I'm going to upload these to Google Classroom and return them to you. Okay, and then once they're returned to you, I'm going to come back here. You're going to go into FreeMath app. After you get the returned, you're going to download the file. You're going to come in here, and you're going to look at one. So let's look at Owen's. See, now it's scored, and it has a 1 out of 1 over top both of those. Okay, no teacher feedback because everything looked good. But that's actually, maybe I went through that too fast. So when you're ready to load the file, you got to go to Open Assignment here. You don't want to create again because this is no longer making a new one. I'm going to choose File. Wherever it is, you're going to download it and load it. And here you can see that I have the note that I made. I highlighted. Sometimes I'll highlight. Sometimes I'll maybe not. Maybe I'll just make a note. And then your score. You can see you got good on that one, and this one has an issue. You can actually then fix this. Oops, so this was wrong. Okay, so I'm going to change those to 7. Oh, that's actually supposed to be 4. Change those to 4. Oh, those are supposed to be 4 too. Okay, change those to 4. So that's now fixed. So I'm going to save this again. I'm going to then again upload it to Google Classroom. Now, actually, I need to delete all this because I can't save it if there's already a file with that name. Okay, so then so you fixed it, you uploaded it to Google Classroom, and then you resubmitted it to me. Okay, which I can't really show that to you without showing students, because I don't have a I can't show you Google Classroom without revealing students' end of things, or looking at actual students. I don't want to invade anybody's privacy. Okay, so on the teacher side of things, I'm going to get the file again. I'm going to, from Google Classroom, I'm notified that you uploaded, resubmitted it, and then I'm going to upload that. This is now fixed, okay? So I can see what the score was. 10 is still fine. You can see what the score was. I can see that you fixed it. I can delete this comment, and I can give you full points, and I can unselect that, then go back here, save it, and then re-upload it to you. And you get the idea. And then I'm overwriting again. In this case, I'm just deleting. Oops, I did it again. I got to delete those. But on Google Classroom, it'll say, should you override this? Yes, you can just override the .math file. If you're worried about losing data, you can keep a copy on your hard drive. You don't need to, or on your, you can keep copies, but you should probably rename them if you're every time you're changing them. That way, you don't have the overwrite thing. You could I could have renamed this assignment attempt 2 or something. Over here I could have named it assignment attempt 2 or assignment 2 or something like that. But so going back to this, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was so I did that again. I fixed that again, and I'm going to take this file. I need to extract it from the zip. You don't have to worry about any of that. Google Classroom will take care of that, or I'll be doing that. So over here, I'm going to take that file from you, which I downloaded from Google Classroom, and now it's a 1, and now it's a 2 out of 2. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense how that works on my end. Hopefully you're seeing a little bit more of why I need problem numbers and not dots and parens, and why I need names. I need names because it can be a mess without having names in here, especially when I go to view grades and there's no names. I have to figure out what the document is. But moreover, it does have issues if 2 documents have the same name. There's a conflict when I load it. You can tell once it's graded because it'll have the scores up here. But just because it's graded doesn't mean, in this case for me, that it's a fixed grade, because I'm allowing you to fix mistakes and resubmit them. So, and then I showed you all the different keys and different things in here that you can use, and there's more that we will be using in some of the classes. Plus minus is there, and just have to tab through here to see if you can find it. And if you can't find something you need, let me know. It's either in here or maybe can be added if it's not in here. So hopefully it's helped. Thank you and good day.